a live teaching learning session of Principles of Macroeconomics BECC 134. Today we will discuss about AD and AS model. What is AD? AD is aggregate demand and AS is aggregate supply. Aggregate demand and aggregate supply model is very important, and this model was presented by J.M. Keynes and classical economics. Aggregate demand is always show the total demand or whole demand of the country people at the particular during the period of time and during an accounting year. And aggregate supply is the sum total of all the goods and services which are produced by the whole country producers at the given time period. Aggregate demand and aggregate supply play very important role in macroeconomic equilibrium. We can determine macroeconomic equilibrium through this approach. So there is the difference between the nature of demand curve and aggregate supply curve. Aggregate supply curve may be short run aggregate supply curve or long run aggregate supply curve. Short run and long run is the classification of time period. Time period is classified by Dr. Marshall. Marshall said that time period has three different forms. One is very short period, which is known as market period. Second is short period, and third is long period. Very short period is known as market period, in which supply can't increase or can't decrease. Supply can't change due to change in demand. Supply cannot increase or decrease in market period. But in short period, some factors remains constant and some factors are variable. In short run, we can only change the variable factor units if we want to increase the output level. We can't change fixed factors units like building, machines, equipments, etc. Only we can change the units of labor to increase the output level. So there is a restriction in short run that fixed factors remains constant, only variable factor can increase or change. And in long run is that time period in which all the factors of productions are fully variable. All factors can change simultaneously, and we can increase or decrease the level of output according to our requirement. So according to classical economics, long run supply curve is always vertical curve. Vertical means parallel to the y-axis. But according to Keynes, time period is short period, which is most important period for everyone, because our mainly problems occur in short run. In long run, we all will die. So when we will not alive, then our problems will also not alive. That's why Keynes give more importance to short run, not long run. So in short run, according to Keynes, supply curve is generally horizontal line or parallel to the x-axis. But the general slope of supply curve is always upward sloping curve, which shows direct and positive relationship between price and quantity supplied. So here, this red line, which is upward sloping curve, shows short run aggregate supply. And the green line shows aggregate demand curve, which is always downward sloping curve, because it shows inverse relationship or negative relationship between price and level of output. And the purple line is showing, which is vertical line, that is showing long run aggregate supply, which is always vertical, because according to classical economics, full employment exists in the economy. Full employment is a situation where all country people gets job opportunities. According to classical economics, full employment is a general phenomena and it can be achieved very easily. But according to Keynes, full employment is a rare situation. It can't be achieved very easily, and at the level of full employment, 5 to 6% unemployment may be exist. And that 5 to 6% unemployment is called natural rate of unemployment. So there is the difference between the assumptions of classical economics and Keynesian economics. So here we will discuss about what is aggregate demand and how aggregate demand can shift, and what is the shift in aggregate demand known as aggregate demand shocks. And aggregate supply curve can also shift, and the nature of supply curve is different in different economics classical theory. According to this theory, aggregate supply curve is different, and according to Keynes, nature of supply curve is different. So in this model, we will discuss about short run supply curve, long run supply curve, GDP and price level in short run, and GDP and price level in long run. Next is introduction. The aggregate demand and aggregate supply model is the basic macroeconomic tool for studying output fluctuations and the determination of the price level and the inflation rate. It can be used to explain how the economy deviates from a path of smooth growth over time, and to explore the consequences of government policies intend to reduce unemployment and output fluctuations and maintain stable prices. So aggregate demand and aggregate supply model is very important in macroeconomics because it is the main tool of studying output fluctuations. GDP and price level can change due to change in aggregate demand and aggregate supply. If aggregate demand shifts, GDP level will shifts, and if aggregate demand may be shift either to the rightward or leftward. According to that change, GDP and price level will also change. Same as when aggregate supply shifts either to the rightward or leftward, then GDP and price level will also change. So aggregate demand and aggregate supply model studying the output fluctuations and the determination of price level and the inflation rate. Now this is the aggregate supply curve and the definition of aggregate supply. Generally, aggregate supply is the total sum of all the goods and services which are produced by whole country's producer. So aggregate supply is the total of all industry supply. In other words, we can say that aggregate supply curve shows total planned output in the economy at the given price level or average prices. In short run, aggregate supply curve is generally upward sloping curve, and short run aggregate supply curve may be horizontal according to Keynesian economics. In short run, supply curve is upward generally because it shows direct and positive relationship between price and real GDP or national income or output level. Short run is defined as the time period in which fixed factors remains constant and variable factors remains variable. If we want to change the level of output, then we can change only the variable factor units, not fixed factor units. So fixed factors can't change in short run, only variable factors can change. So in short run is defined as the time period when the prices of factors of productions are constant and the fixed factors also remains constant. In particular, money wage rate are fixed in short run. And the nature of supply curve. Here SRAS is showing short run supply curve or short run aggregate supply. In x-axis, we have taken real output or real GDP, and on y-axis, we have written price level. Because aggregate supply is upward sloping curve, that's why it is showing direct and positive relationship between price and output. Aggregate supply is related with producers, and producers' main aim is to earn maximum profit. That's why when price level increases, they will produce more. They will encourage to produce more, and supply will rise. And due to fall in price, producers' profit motive will fall and they will reduce the supply. That's why this curve is always upward sloping curve, because it shows direct relationship between price and output level. Next is, here the nature of aggregate supply curve is classified according to different time periods. One is short period and other is long period. In short run, aggregate supply curve is always upward sloping curve, and in long run, supply curve is always vertical curve parallel to the y axis. The reason behind the different shapes of this aggregate supply curve is, in short run, we can change only variable factor units, not fixed factor units. So aggregate supply can change only the change in labor units. If labor unit increases, then supply can increase, or if labor unit falls, then supply will also fall. So that's why this supply curve, short run supply curve is always upward sloping curve. And long run aggregate supply curve is always vertical. Its reason is because according to classical economics, full employment exists in each and every economy. At the level of full employment, output will remain constant. If output remains constant, then income level will also remain constant. If income will remain constant, it means there will be no change in output, there will be no change in employment, there will be no change in supply. Only price can change in long run. So, if we assume that full employment exists in the economy, then aggregate supply curve nature will be vertical or parallel to the y-axis. That's why LAS, long run aggregate supply curve, is vertical, and short run aggregate supply curve is horizontal. It may be horizontal and it may be upward sloping. Generally, this curve is always upward sloping curve. Next is aggregate demand. Aggregate demand is that demand which shows the whole country people demand. Or in other words, we can say that aggregate demand is the sum total of all the country people demand, in which we include demand for consumption purpose, demand for investment purpose, demand for government goods and services, and demand for net exports. Yani ki it means we include all the factors or components which are the main component of aggregate demand. As you know that in two sector economy, we take only C and I. C is consumption demand and I is investment demand. So aggregate demand is the sum total of C plus I. C is consumption, I is investment in a two sector economy. If we take three components like C, I and G, then aggregate demand will be equals to C plus I plus G in a three sector economy. Here G is government expenditure. And in a four sector economy, we can take in aggregate demand C plus I plus G plus net export. Net export is the difference between export and import. So aggregate demand is that demand which shows the inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. As you know that demand is related with consumers, and we all are consumer, and consumers mentality is to satisfy their maximum wants with minimum spending. Each and every consumer wants to gain maximum satisfaction by spending minimum or less. That's why if price rises, demand falls. When price falls, demand rises. It means aggregate demand is inversely related with the level of price. Due to rise in price, demand falls, and due to fall in price, demand rises. This is the main reason behind this downward sloping aggregate demand curve. Aggregate demand curve shows the relationship between aggregate price levels and quantity of aggregate output, which is demanded by household, businesses, firm, government sector, and rest of the world. It means aggregate demand has four components: C, I, G, and net export. C is showing consumption demand, I represents investment demand, G represent government expenditure, and net export shows the difference between export and import and demand for rest of the demand for goods and services which is demanded by rest of the world. At present, all the economies are open economies which have relationship with rest of the world. So aggregate demand curve is always downward sloping curve, and it has four components in a four sector economy. On vertical axis or y-axis, we have written price level, and on x-axis, you can take real GDP. So aggregate demand shows the relationship between price level and real GDP, which is always negative relation or inverse relation. This is the main reason the demand curve is always downward sloping curve. Next is macroeconomic equilibrium. The main thing is that aggregate demand and aggregate supply model is very useful to determine macroeconomic equilibrium. Macroeconomic equilibrium can be determined with the intersection of aggregate demand curve and aggregate supply curve. In this diagram, here aggregate demand is downward sloping curve and aggregate supply curve is upward sloping curve, where both curve intersect each other. Equilibrium point is determined. At this equilibrium point, income level will be determined Y1 and the price level will be determined P1. Here GPL1 is general price level. So macroeconomic equilibrium is established when aggregate demand and aggregate supply intersect each other. What matters is whether total demand for goods and services, which is AD, is close to actual production from domestic and external sources, which shows aggregate supply, where both curve intersect each other. Macroeconomic equilibrium is determined on that point. So macroeconomic equilibrium can't determine without using aggregate demand and aggregate supply curve, so that aggregate demand and aggregate supply play very important or vital role in determination of macroeconomic equilibrium. Next is classical and Keynesian model. There is a difference between classical and Keynesian model. According to classical economics, aggregate supply is always vertical or parallel to the y-axis curve, but according to Keynes, supply curve may be horizontal in short run, and after that aggregate supply curve may be upward sloping curve. So if we want to determine general macroeconomic equilibrium, then we will take downward sloping aggregate demand curve and upward sloping aggregate supply curve. But if the special or extreme cases, if we ask about this classical model, if we talk about classical model, then classical model can determine macroeconomic equilibrium with the help of this vertical aggregate supply curve, and aggregate demand curve is generally slopes downward where both curve intersect each other. Equilibrium point is determined. In first diagram, aggregate supply is vertical or parallel to the y-axis because classical theory assumed long period assumption. In long run, all the factors of productions are fully variable, so we can easily achieve full employment level according to classical economics. In long run, they assume that only prices can change. For when full employment is achieved in the economy, then output, employment, and income level will not change. Only price will change. That's why here price can fluctuate in classical model, but potential GDP or output or employment level will not change. So in first diagram, aggregate supply is vertical, aggregate demand is downward sloping curve. Both curve intersect each other. Here P star price level is determined and GDP is remains constant. Output will remain constant, income will remain constant, and employment level is always exist in long run full employment level. If aggregate demand increases, then price level will increase. If aggregate demand falls, then price level will also falls. It means according to classical model, only prices can fluctuate due to change in aggregate demand curve, but output, income, and employment level will not change. And in Keynesian model, aggregate supply is initially horizontal line. After that, aggregate supply curve will be upward sloping curve. Aggregate demand curve same as downward sloping curve, where both curve intersect each other. Equilibrium point is determined. At this equilibrium point, price level will be P star and income level will be Y star. So this is the basic difference between classical model and Keynesian model. Next is supply shocks. What is supply shocks or how supply can shift or change? Supply shocks are unexpected or sudden shift in short run aggregate supply. Supply shocks means shift in aggregate supply curve. As you know that aggregate supply curve can shift either to the rightward or leftward. Due to increase in supply of goods and services, supply curve will shift to the right hand side. And due to fall in production of goods and services, aggregate supply curve will shift to the left hand side. So the shift in aggregate supply curve is known as aggregate supply shocks or shift in aggregate supply. These supply shocks are unexpected or they are considered as temporary situations. There are both adverse or negative and positive supply shocks may be exist. Supply curve, if this curve shifts to the left hand side, it means supply is decreasing. And if supply curve shifts to the right hand side, then we can say that supply is increasing. So if supply is increasing, that will be called positive supply shocks. And if supply curve is decreasing, that will be called negative or adverse supply shocks. So in this diagram, here two diagrams which are representing that if long run aggregate supply remains constant or curve is vertical, then aggregate demand same as downward sloping curve. Here SRAS First curve, short run aggregate supply curve is SRAS1 curve. A point is the equilibrium point where LRAS, SRAS, and aggregate demand all curve intersect each other. A point is determined equilibrium point. And on that point, price level will be P1 and the income level will be Y1. If supply decreases, then supply curve will shift to the left hand side. And this left hand side shift curve will change the level of price and level of income. Here, this new supply curve is SRAS2. And this new aggregate supply curve is intersecting aggregate demand curve at B point. At this B point, price level will increase from P1 to P2 and the level of income will fall from OY1 to OY2. Due to falling supply, price will rise, and if price rises, then consumer will demand less. If consumer will spend less, then producer will also produce less. And in that case, income level will fall. So this is the adverse or negative situation of aggregate supply shocks. On the other hand, if supply increases, then supply curve will shift to the right hand side. Here LRAS is vertical, same as, which is showing that full employment is exist in the economy, and the GDP is potential GDP, which is constant, which can't change, only price level can change. Aggregate demand curve is same as downward sloping curve, which shows inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. SRAS curve is generally upward sloping curve, which shows direct and positive relationship between price and output level. If supply increases, then supply curve will shift to the right hand side. First equilibrium point is determined where LRAS, SRAS, and aggregate demand curve intersect each other. A point is determined. At this A point, income level is Y1 and the price level is P1. If there is a positive supply shocks and supply increases due to increase in favorable situations, like if technology is upgraded and if we are using modern and advanced technology, then output level will increase. If government is reducing taxation and government providing more subsidies to the producer, then producer will encourage and produce more. In this case, supply curve will shift to the right hand side. This right hand side shift supply curve intersects AD curve at B point. At this point, price level will fall from P1 to P2 and income level will rise from Y1 to Y2. And this is the very simple situation that if aggregate supply increases, if there is a abundant production in the economy, then price level automatically falls. Because price level is basically depends upon demand and supply. And price level is always determined with the mechanism of price which works through the aggregate demand and aggregate supply curves. So aggregate demand and aggregate supply where both curve intersect each other, equilibrium price is determined. And this equilibrium price will not remains always stable because in economy situation is not always static. At present all things are dynamic or economy is working in a dynamic situation. That's why aggregate supply and aggregate demand can change at any time. So if aggregate demand increases, price level will rise. If aggregate demand falls, price level will fall. If supply increases, price will fall. If supply falls, then price will rise. So price can change, price can fluctuate. It depends upon aggregate supply shocks and aggregate demand shocks. So all things are related with aggregate demand and aggregate supply. That's why this topic is very important and you must have to know about what is aggregate supply shocks and what is aggregate demand shocks and how they affects equilibrium price level and GDP level. So this was the case of supply shocks. Now next is shift of aggregate demand. Aggregate demand can also change in short run. Aggregate demand shocks may be known as shift in aggregate demand. Aggregate demand can be shift in a positive way or in a negative way. If aggregate demand increases, it will be called positive demand shock. And if aggregate demand falls, it will be called negative aggregate demand shock. In first diagram, aggregate demand is initial curve, downward sloping curve, and aggregate supply is generally upward sloping curve. Where both curve intersect each other, equilibrium point is determined. Here first equilibrium point is E1 because AD and SRAS intersects each other. At this equilibrium point, equilibrium price is P1 and the level of income is Y1. If there is a negative aggregate demand shock happens in the economy, then aggregate demand curve will shift to the leftward or downward. If aggregate demand shifts to the leftward, then this new aggregate demand curve where intersects SRAS curve, then again new equilibrium point will be determined. In this diagram, E2 is the another equilibrium point which is showing that aggregate demand falls and falls in aggregate demand curve intersects SRAS curve, that point will determine E2. At this equilibrium point, price level will fall from P1 to P2 and income level will also fall from Y1 to Y2. So if aggregate demand shock is negative, then GDP and price level both will fall simultaneously. On the other hand, if we are taking the case of positive demand shock, in this case, first of all, initial equilibrium will be determined where aggregate demand and aggregate supply curve intersect each other. If aggregate demand shock is positive, it means if aggregate demand is increasing due to increase in income of the consumer, taste and preferences, size of population, distribution of income, fiscal policy, monetary policy, all these factors can affect our demand except price. Because demand can change only due to change in other factors rather than price. If price remains constant, only other factors are varies, then our demand curve can shift either to the rightward or leftward. So here positive demand shock is showing that consumers demand is increasing due to so many reasons behind that. So if aggregate demand increases, AD curve shifts to the right hand side and this new aggregate demand curve intersects SRAS curve at E2 point. At this E2 point, price level will increase from P1 to P2 and income level will also increase from Y1 to Y2. So if there is a positive demand shock, then GDP and price level will increase in a positive way. And if there is a negative aggregate demand shock, then price and GDP will fall. So there is a direct relationship between price and GDP. If aggregate demand falls, price will fall, income will fall. If demand increases, then price will rise and income will also rise. So this is the effect of aggregate demand shocks on price level and GDP level in short run. Next is effect of aggregate demand shocks on equilibrium, price and the level of income. We can show the change in aggregate demand either to the rightward or leftward on the same diagram. If we want to draw only one diagram, then we can easily show the impact of aggregate demand shocks. Either it may be positive shock or it may be negative shock. If there is a positive aggregate demand shock, then aggregate demand curve will shift to the right hand side. And if there is a negative demand shock, then aggregate demand curve will shift to the left hand side. Aggregate supply curve will be always upward sloping curve, which shows direct and positive relationship between price and quantity of output. Here, first AD curve is aggregate demand number 1, where AD1 cuts SRAS curve, initial equilibrium point is determined. At this equilibrium point, price level will be P1 and income level will be Y1. If aggregate demand shock is positive, then aggregate demand curve shifts to the right hand side, and this right hand side shifts in aggregate demand intersects SRAS curve at E2 point, then price level will increase from P1 to P2 and income level will also increase from Y1 to Y2. On the other hand, if aggregate demand shock is negative, in that case, aggregate demand curve shifts to the left hand side, then price level will also fall and demand or GDP level will also fall. So, aggregate demand shocks can positively affect the price and level of income. If there is a positive shock in aggregate demand, both will rise. Demand both will rise, it means price and level of income both will increase. And vice versa, if aggregate demand shock is negative or aggregate demand falls, then price and income level both will fall. Next is short run equilibrium. In the aggregate demand and aggregate supply model, we can determine short run equilibrium where SRAS, or we can write SAS. SAS is short run aggregate supply and AD is aggregate demand, where both curve intersect each other. Equilibrium point or short run equilibrium point is determined. Here AD0 is the initial aggregate demand curve and SAS is the short run aggregate supply curve, upward sloping curve, where both curve intersect each other. E point is determined. This is the macroeconomic equilibrium or short run equilibrium with the help of aggregate demand and aggregate supply model. Here price is P0 and income is Y0. If aggregate demand increases, then this curve will shift to the right hand side. This new curve intersects SAS curve at F point. At this F point, price level will rise and income level will also rise. So a shift in the aggregate demand curve to the right change equilibrium from E to F, increasing output from Y0 to Y1 and increasing price level from P0 to P1. And situation may be reversed if aggregate demand curve shifts to the left hand side. Next is, this is also the short run equilibrium. Short run equilibrium is always determined with the help of SRAS or SAS and AD, where both are equal. Short run equilibrium is determined. If aggregate demand increases, then this equilibrium price and equilibrium level of income will also increase and change by the positive manner. And if aggregate demand falls, then price and level of income will also falls. So short run equilibrium or macroeconomic equilibrium can be determined with the help of aggregate demand and aggregate supply curves. And aggregate demand curve is always downward sloping curve, and aggregate supply curve is always upward sloping curve, which shows direct and positive relationship between price and quantity supplied. Next is, what are the determinants of AD and SRAS curve? Why these curve shifts? And what are the reason behind the aggregate demand shocks and aggregate supply shocks? As we said that aggregate demand and aggregate supply both curve can shift only due to change in other factors rather than price. If price remains constant, only other factors like taste and preferences of the consumer, size of population, income of the consumer, future expectations, distribution of income, climate, fiscal policy, monetary policy, these are the main determinants of shift in aggregate demand curve. And the main cause of shift in aggregate supply curve is change in technology, change in future price expectations, change in price of inputs, change in size and change in the nature of inputs, and change in the climatic conditions. If there is natural constraint, then aggregate supply can't increase, and time period also affects the shift in supply curve, because if time period is short run, then supply can't change, and if there is a time period of long run, then we can change supply according to our requirement. So all these factors affects aggregate supply. So, what are the determinants of aggregate demand? Aggregate demand determinants are, like we know that there are four components of aggregate demand in a four sector economy, like C, I, G, and net export. So, consumer spending also affects aggregate demand. If consumer is spending more, then aggregate demand will increase. If consumer spending is less, then aggregate demand will fall. If investment expenditure is increasing, then aggregate demand will also increase, and if investment expenditure is falling, then aggregate demand curve will shift to the left hand side. Same as government expenditure, as we know that one person expenditure is another person income. If government is spending more money, then consumers' income will rise, their purchasing power will rise, and due to rise in their purchasing power, their capacity to buy will rise, and they will demand more. In this case, demand curve will shift to the right hand side. And net export, if net export is increasing, then foreign currency or foreign exchange will come in our economy in a large way. Then in that case, our purchasing power or level of income will rise. In due to rise in level of income, aggregate demand will also rise. So these are the determinants which can shift aggregate demand curve in a positive or in a negative way. And what are the determinants of SRAS? Short run aggregate supply curve may be shift due to change in input prices. What are inputs? Inputs are land, labor, capital, entrepreneur, and inputs are, these factors are known as primary factor, but raw material, fuel, electricity is called intermediate or inputs. These are secondary factors which is also very necessary for the production of goods and services. So if price of inputs varies or changes, then it also affects aggregate supply curve. And price of resources, resources means the factors which we are using for the production of goods and services. If factors are easily available at a cheaper rate, then supply will rise, and if factors cost are very higher, then cost of production will rise, and due to rise in cost of production, supply will fall, and due to fall in supply, aggregate supply curve will shift to the left hand side. If there is an increase in productivity level due to increase in modernization of technology, then supply will rise and curve will shift to the right hand side. And if productivity or if we are using backward technologies or obsolescence techniques, then production will fall, and due to fall in production, supply curve will shift to the left hand side. If wages increases, then labor will motivate to produce or engaged in productive activities. That's why supply will rise. And if wages falls, labor will discourage to work in the factories or business enterprises. And if labor will not motivate or not encourage, then aggregate supply will fall and supply curve will shift to the left hand side. So supply curve can shift either to the right hand side or left hand side due to these following reasons. One is input prices, next is price of resources, next is productivity, and next is wages. So these are the determinants of aggregate demand and aggregate supply, which causes the curve to shift or which causes the shocks of AD and AS. Next is long run macroeconomic equilibrium, where the long run macroeconomic equilibrium can be determined. As you know that long run aggregate supply curve is always vertical curve. According to classical model, LRAS is always vertical. So where the LRAS curve, which is always vertical or parallel to the y-axis, it intersects aggregate demand curve, which is always downward sloping curve, and SRAS curve is always upward sloping curve. Where all these curves intersect each other, long run macroeconomic equilibrium is determined on that point. Next is, this is the very important topic. Sometimes the question may ask from you that how or what is the nature of aggregate supply curve in long run, or why the long run aggregate supply curve is always vertical. Why this shape is always vertical, not horizontal, not upward sloping, not in any other shape? Why this curve is always vertical? What is the reason behind this? So vertical line representing real output of goods and services based on full information, and after full employment or full adjustment has occurred, it represents the real output of the economy under the condition of full employment. Because according to classical economics, full employment always exists in each and every economy, and at the level of full employment, we can't go beyond that. In that case, no output level will increase after achieving the full employment level, no income level will increase, no employment level will increase. What will increase? Only price will increase. Only price can change in long run, but output, income, and employment level can't change. So if we assume that there is a full employment situation in the economy, then income, output, and employment will not vary. It will remain constant. Only price level will change. In that case, LRAS curve will be vertical or parallel to the y-axis. It shows that the potential level of GDP and the real level of GDP both are equal. There is no gap between real GDP and potential GDP. What is potential GDP? Potential GDP is the capacity to produce. How much capacity to produce with the available resources? What we are expecting to produce, that is potential or capacity to produce. And the actual GDP shows what we actually produce with the help of that available resources. This potential GDP may be differ from actual GDP. So if there is a difference between potential GDP and actual GDP, then GDP gap will occur. And if there is no gap, if both are equal, there is no lag behind this, then we can say that actual GDP and potential GDP both are equal. And that situation is known as full employment situation. And in this situation, LRAS curve will be vertical because there is no gap between potential GDP and actual GDP. So LRAS curve is vertical because all resources fully employed output cannot be increased at present time. Now this is the diagram of same as long run macroeconomic equilibrium. Here long run macroeconomic equilibrium can be determined with the help of where AD and AS LRAS curve intersect each other. LRAS curve is vertical, SRAS curve is upward sloping curve, and AD curve is downward sloping curve. Where all these curves intersect each other, equilibrium point is determined, but this equilibrium point is called long run macroeconomic equilibrium. So this is the long run macroeconomic equilibrium determination diagram. Next is, this diagram can change if price and output can change if there is a change in aggregate demand. As you know that LRAS curve is always vertical and aggregate demand curve is always downward sloping curve, where both curve intersect each other. Equilibrium point is determined. At this equilibrium point, price level will determine and income level will also determine. Here income level is Y star. It means here there is no difference between real GDP and potential GDP. GDP will remain constant or same. Either is there is increase in AD or decrease in AD, it will not change. Only price will change. If aggregate demand increases, curve will shift to the right hand side. In that case, price will rise from P1 to P2. And if aggregate demand falls, curve will shift to the left hand side. In this case, price will fall from P1 to P3. But level of income or GDP will remain constant because LRAS curve is vertical, which is presenting full employment situation. Next is, if there is a change in long run aggregate supply curve, then what will happen, or what will happen on the equilibrium point and price level and the level of income? As you know that long run aggregate supply curve is always vertical curve, and this vertical curve is showing full employment situation. First of all, where both curve intersect each other, equilibrium point is determined. If LRAS curve shifts to the right hand side, then we can show parallel shift or vertical shape mein we can shift this curve to the right hand side, and aggregate demand curve will remain same, and this aggregate demand curve intersects LRAS2 at another point. Here price level will fall and income level will rise. If there is a change in long run aggregate supply curve, then curve will parallel shift to the rightward or leftward, depends upon increase or decrease. In that case, price and income level can change inversely. And if there is a change in, if aggregate demand increases, then inflationary gap will occur. If there is a actual GDP is greater than potential GDP, then inflationary gap will occur. Inflationary gap is generally shows that when aggregate demand is increases and output will not increase, in that case inflation will occur in the economy due to rise in aggregate demand. And if aggregate demand falls, then recessionary gap will occur. So recession or inflation may be occur in case of increase in aggregate demand and decrease in aggregate demand. So conclusion, here we have discussed today aggregate demand and aggregate supply model, which is very important to determine short run macroeconomic equilibrium and long run macroeconomic equilibrium. And long run aggregate supply curve is always vertical due to the assumption of full employment. Thank you.